There was this really funny part on the live show with Cross Politics where all of us guys at the conference were lined up on there, all of our beards tricked out, drinking our scotch. But for some reason, it took a bent to make fun of PhDs. And there was just people like railing on them. And Glenn Sunshine sitting in the middle, the perfect spot, the perfect seat. He's like, hey, I need to stand up for myself. And he starts talking about it. But I want to talk about that today because I have some theories about PhDs and are they worthwhile? Should you get one? And should you respect them for all those that are already out there? Let's talk about that today. Welcome to How to Build a Tent. My name is Matt Williams. Thank you for listening to the show, sharing the show, tagging a friend. I appreciate all of you new listeners. For those of you who didn't want to listen, deleted my show, but then gave it a try, you got to check out all the comments on all the social media sites. How to Build a Tent on YouTube. Oh, my goodness. I got in trouble yesterday defending the Jeff Durbin for using the word bullshit. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on this network show, but that's what he said. He said it on the conference. And I am of the mind that no word in and of itself is bad. It's how you use it. You can look to the higher level that God gives us on what is fulfilling the law, loving God, loving neighbor. Are you using your words to do that even when it's harsh? Just like your body. Are you using your body to love God and love others? You can use it in sinful ways and you can use it in good ways, just like alcohol, just like money, just like anything, almost anything in life. And I'm going to say almost just to caveat it in case I'm not thinking anything through, like a car. A car can be used for sinful things. A car can be used for good, productive things. But in and of itself, a car is not sin. And so that's my opinion on words as well. So PhDs. I have a big skepticism of PhDs, especially in theology and any of the social sciences, the psychologies and whatnot, because I also play this game on Twitter. Is this tweet so dumb that it came from a PhD or not? And you go look in the profile and you see if it's a PhD or not. But with that being said, there are some really brilliant PhDs who use and say really great things. Glenn Sunshine is one of them. He's a brilliant guy who makes you think about things in ways you never did. He pushes your imagination and your mind far beyond where you are at, where you're at. And it's really helpful. And I think it's really helpful. But for in large part, PhDs have done something to us, and I don't know if they're completely to blame, but has raised up and educated and discipled one way or another pastors and other Christian leaders in a way that I don't think is very beneficial, where we've become soft, where we've become to our culture, and I'm speaking in America specifically. For all those people listening outside the country, this might not be applicable to you, but it's like we have this country club mentality where you have to be proper. You don't dare call somebody out for something, that you hedge your conversations, you hedge your language so not to be offensive. You believe in higher rational thought and the ideas and the principles of ideas and the value of ideas and the scholarly works. And that's kind of what our Christian leaders have become. And I think a large part of that is because of the intellectual pursuit of the PhD and the prestige that comes with a PhD. The prestige that comes with a PhD. And I was trying to use a big PhD word, but I'm not even going to do that. I will just say that I'm going to put forth this, that if all of Christianity were construction workers instead of all being PhDs, we would get a lot more done for the kingdom of God. If all of us acted like construction workers, spoke like construction workers, related to people as construction workers, built things like construction workers. And that's not to say sloppy. That's not to say worldly. That's not to say any of those kinds of things. But I'm just talking, I don't know how to explain it unless you've actually worked on a construction site before. And I'm not saying to be like the world either. I'm just saying like everyday man, practical, looking to build physical things and doing those kinds of things, relating to people, not being offended by every little thing, not like calling everybody out all the time on these little things that don't matter. Because in fact, on the construction site, you actually do get called out on a bunch of stuff. And if you can take it, it becomes like a brotherly thing where you guys are building each other up. You're giving each other hard times. If you can't take it, you'll get yourself in trouble. But there's this brotherly bond that happens that I think is more related to what the Christian idea of being brothers in Christ are like, instead of this PhD world where you can't really make fun of anyone, you can't talk, you can't joke around, you can't have joy, and all of these different things. But like I said before, there are good PhDs out here. And this is my metaphor that I'm working on. And let me know what you think. Put it in the comments, or you can email me. I would love to hear it. And I'm sure other people would love to hear if you agree with me or not. If yesterday's Twitter's indication, it seems like everybody had an opinion on what I had to say. I think PhDs are like alcohol. When you get drunk, it brings out who you are. PhDs do that very thing. A PhD brings out who you really are. If you have a great grasp of biblical foundations, if you have a great grasp of theology, you have a strong relationship with Christ, then I think a PhD could really benefit you very well. If you don't, if you are foolish, if you do not have a firm foundation on biblical principles, on theology and all these different things, a PhD will wreck you. It will cause you to lose your mind in academia. And you see it so much with people where they get lost in these ideas and theories, and they go down these rabbit holes. And it's almost like Inception, where you follow so many different theories that you don't even know what's real anymore. And you're not going to take any stands because you've gone down so many rabbit holes and have lost any grasp of or reality, have lost any grasp of any kind of foundation, that you're just gone, that you are, the only thing you have left are theories that you're holding on to one way or another. The practical application is gone, because who are you to say that you were right? And you better not call anyone out, because what is your foundation? It's your theories. It's your thesis that you worked on. It's your area of study. You don't know other people's area of study, so you dare not call anyone out on sin that doesn't have to do with your specific situation. So when you see PhDs, I want you to do this, is to just put it aside, to not respect it any more than a construction worker. Don't respect it any more than a pastor or any other profession. It may benefit them, but it may also be detrimental, and they might say crazy things that fits into my Twitter game of, is it so stupid that a PhD said it? And judge people's comments and arguments and actions just on that. Because there are too many PhDs out there that are people spouting off nonsense, people spouting off things that contradict the Bible, that aren't helpful, that aren't beneficial. And that's why I want to stay with the construction workers for the most part. I like those people. I get along with them very well. They don't get offended when I say a word that isn't appropriate. They don't get mad at me when I give them a hard time and I make fun of somebody. They actually laugh along with it, and they push back and they make fun of me as well. I'm comfortable with those people. And I'm not just bagging on PhDs because I'm not comfortable with them. I can hang with them too. And a lot of them I want to hang out with and learn from and all those things, just like I said, Glenn Sunshine. And I'm not just being a homeboy or homebody. What do they call it? Not a homebody. I don't know. I'm not just rooting for the home team because he's on our network. That dude has a lot of great things to say. I don't even know where he's going with that. I think But don't just automatically respect and think that a PhD is smarter than you or is right on something and you're wrong if they disagree, or you think it just sounds right. Because a PhD doesn't mean anything in and of itself. A PhD will either make you a better person or make you a worse person. Just like when you're drinking alcohol, it lowers your inhibitions and you become more of who you are. You become more of who you are. If you're a funny guy, you're going to be more funny. If you're an angry guy, you're going to be that angry alcoholic. If you're a PhD that is condescending and prideful, then you as a PhD are going to become more condescending and prideful. If you are a guy that loves the Lord and loves serving people and loves blessing people and helping them learn new things and new ideas and challenge them, then a PhD is going to help you do those very same things. The PhD doesn't make you that person. I feel like there's a hair just like falling down my head. So as people that don't have PhDs, I just don't want you to be intimidated by them. I don't want you to feel like they are always right and you're wrong, that you're not as smart as they are. It has nothing to do with it. Anyone can devote time to a subject and become a mastery of it if they do the sacrifice, if they have their work ethic. I mean, there's very few people that can't do it. And there's very few people that can't use vocabulary and they can't use terms that anyone not specialized in that field will not know. You could do it with anything, science, math, terms that you would never hear of. And so when someone says those things that you don't hear about, you think, oh my gosh, they're so much smarter than me. And then you think you need to listen to them in everything that they ever say. That's just not true. That's just not true. And so I guess my point of this episode is I want you to not be intimidated by the PhDs of this world. Realize that it is the person, the arguments, it is the actions of that person that you should be respecting or not respecting. The PhD is just that, a PhD. For the record, I probably should just put this as a disclaimer. I don't have a PhD. I do have a master's degree, and I think that's pretty much worthless too. And I probably should talk about that next episode. Is do I think a master's is beneficial? Yeah, I think that'll be next episode if I don't forget, which sometimes I do. Maybe I'll write that down. Ask Siri to remind me. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow. God